Hey everybody, it is Latasha Martin and I am doing something different today. I've been hosting these sessions for the last day and a half on virtual service support for churches preparing for this upcoming Sunday. And so this morning when I was in prayer, I was like, let me do something just a little bit different. If you're on here or if you know someone that's still preparing for their services on Sunday and they need some technical support, I would ask you to share this support. Start watch parties on your own page. Again, this is just information for them. And for today's session, what I wanted to do was a little bit different. I'm going to go through some tips that all churches should consider, and then I'm going to do some Q&A. So if people have questions about some of the information that I'm sharing, if you have questions about the equipment or anything that I'm talking about, software solutions, setting up a Facebook page, I just wanted to open it up so that people could ask those questions in real time today. So I'm asking you to go ahead and share this video. Share this by starting watch parties. That's an option that will come up if you're on Facebook, or if you just want to tag someone by putting their name in a comment section, they'll get an alert and they can come in and ask questions today. Again, I'm going to share in the beginning some general tips, and then we're going to shift over to just open Q&A about any questions that people may have, because it is Friday. And if you have not prepared for a virtual service on Sunday, you still may have some questions, and I want to make sure that I can capture all of those in real time. So let's just go ahead, and instead of me doing my normal walkthrough, I'm going to share some pieces with you from a tip sheet that I have prepared. And then, like I said, if you want to ask some questions or if you want to share something with someone, you can ask those questions in the comment area. And we're going to be open to responding to those in real time. My face looks a little shiny this morning. So give me one moment to share, and then you will see what's on my screen. Perfect. So what we're going to do today is we're going to skip ahead. My name is Latasha Martin, and I'm the owner of an organization called Bonswise Solution, where I help individuals figure out what they want to do when they grow up, and I help with leadership development in the corporate space. But for me, for many years of being in business, one of the things that has helped me out so much is really understanding how to use the right technology for solutions for both my client as well as my business as it evolves. Because jumping on a plane is not always the option for me. So I've been looking at technical options for years now. Anyone who knows me knows that I love technology. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to jump ahead to some things that all churches should consider. That's where we're going to start today, because I do want to leave time for Q&A during this session. And if you have people that might have questions, you can go ahead and again send them over in the comment area, and I will respond to them accordingly. So let's go ahead and talk about some things that all churches, I think, should be considering if you are preparing for a Sunday service and that's not typically how you do service. And what I mean by that is, right now, if all you do is sporadic Facebook Lives, or people from the congregation might just go live from holding a phone, there's just some things that I'd love for you to think about as you're preparing for this upcoming Sunday. And so some of the things to think about are, first of all, be honest with where you are. Right now, I see that there's tons of people jumping on Facebook, doing Facebook Lives and offering up all these solutions and things of that nature. But if you're a church, or if you're a leader, or if you are a pastor and you don't use Facebook right now, we want you to be honest with what you think you need to do, the people that are in your congregation that are there to help, and we're not looking about comparing to one another. Right now, where our primary purpose should be that we want to make sure that the people who are preparing for Sunday are getting access to the gospel. And so that is what we should be looking at, not what everyone else is doing, not how everyone else is preparing, but we really want to set ourselves up where we're looking at what we need to do for our people in our congregation. And then also what you want to keep in mind, so you can give yourself a break if you're one of those people that you're always striving for perfection, is to recognize for this Sunday, something is better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. Also, you want to make sure that as you are making these decisions in your mind, that you're not just depending on you as the leader, you as the pastor coming up with all the answers. And we're going to talk a little bit later about how you can lean in and depend on some others. And then again, what kind of budget do you have? What skills do you have? And then how much time do you have to prepare for this Sunday? Let's go on to this next thing to consider. You want to make a plan. So even though it's Friday, and service might be set on Sunday or in some cases Saturday, you want to make sure that as you are thinking about your technical solutions or whatever you can do to help your congregation virtually, that you make a plan. And when you create that plan, if you have no tech or you're a low tech church, I would encourage you at this point, just take out a piece of paper, or one of my favorite things is to go to the whiteboard. I literally, and I'm going to actually show you guys real quickly, when I'm coming up with solutions with my clients, you'll see that I have my whiteboard here. The reason this whiteboard is here is because I've been using it a lot over the last couple of weeks. And I will take the time when I'm creating plans and I will literally just map it out. So that is an option. You can map out your plans on a whiteboard. And even when you're thinking about Sunday's message, if you're used to using PowerPoints or some type of notes for your congregation, don't sleep on the power of a whiteboard. You can write your scriptures down. People can use them. They can read them. It is a great thing. So again, write down a plan. Make sure that you have a plan that's not too complicated. And you want to make sure that for whatever task you have, what are the responsibilities associated with those tasks? And then who's going to own it? Who's going to own it? And it shouldn't be a single owner at this point because, again, it's Friday. So even though a couple of days ago I was saying it should be one person, it's Friday now. So we want to make sure we can bring people in to help us to get to where we need to go. Thank you, Yakita, for sharing. I appreciate you. Again, helping people to come up with creating a plan. And so then let's look at the next thing that we need to consider. You need to be flexible. There's so much information that's coming out minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. So if you are a church right now who's thinking based on what the certain requirements are for where you reside, that you're still planning on having live church on Sunday, I still would encourage you to look at what we're talking about today, because you might find out Saturday night that your option of opening up your church doors is not an option for you. And we don't want you to sit there and say, oh my goodness, what am I going to do for my congregation? Or what am I going to do to make sure that the support that the ministry needs around tithes and offering is just not going to happen because my plan was to stick to what I always do. Again, that's not a good plan for Sunday, because again, there's some things that are happening that might force you not to do church like you always have. So we need you to be flexible right now. The other thing is, as you're creating these plans and you're thinking about the technology that you might consider, I'd also encourage for you to say, it's Friday today. Make a plan, meet your congregation where you are, but then also make sure that you are taking some time to practice whatever technology that you want to use, that you're practicing. And the team that you're using, we have some backup for people who can support the technology, and then backup for people in the congregation who are watching the technology solution that you're offering, so that if there is some instant feedback they need to give you, they can give it to you in real time and you can be flexible and respond to that. Then finally, I keep saying this over and over, but I can't say it enough. You want to depend on others. You want to depend on others. And when you're depending on others, what I want you to consider today is that depending on others is not necessarily just people from your congregation. I believe that we are the body of Christ and we should be coming together and depending on ministries. So where they're strong and you're weak and they're strong, you can partner together and really say, how do we provide a service for our congregation? Maybe this Sunday is looking like 2 or 3 churches are coming together. One can do praise and worship at one location. One can do some things around collecting the offering and making sure it's split up. And another group can sit together and deliver the word. But the point is, we want you to come together. Now, when we're depending on others, another option that you always have is that this is the time. A lot of colleges are shut down. Most of them, if you are in New York State, they have shut down for the rest of the year. And maybe your college students have gotten away from Christ and Jesus and church in a traditional way. Reach out to these kids who understand how to use Facebook. Actually, they think Facebook is for old people, but they still can learn how to use Facebook, Instagram, other social media platforms to advertise to a larger audience what's going to happen in your service on Sunday. I just got some great news from one of my clients. I was talking about this morning because I do a virtual session with a group of women every Monday through Friday. And what I heard from one of my clients is they have learned the power of pivot and depending on others. And they're using technology now, and where they thought they were going to be losing business because they were regional, go into their place of business, they are now expanding and they have gotten customers in different parts of the country. Wouldn't it be amazing if your ministry actually expands outside of your region because you're considering technology? You're considering technology and depending on others and helping them to help you and you help them. And then the next step I want you to remember as you're thinking about this idea of technology, because when I tell you it can just get away from you or it can be overwhelming, that's why I've modified how I've been doing these sessions. And today I want to have time for Q&A, is because as you are growing and you are getting responses from your congregation or people who want to connect to your ministry, it is at that time where you reevaluate what you're using and what you're doing to evolve and grow as you go. So in the beginning, I encourage you, spend the least amount of money to create the best experience for what your congregation needs, and start using free resources before you jump into paid options. If you don't use anything right now, please use free options before you start paying for solutions. Again, if you have no technology or low technology, be strategic and intentional. The word talks about us using wisdom. And then there's a scripture that I know that talks about, would you build something without counting the cost? So now is not the time, if you haven't had service last week, to go invest in a lot of technology that you don't need to provide a solution that might not be right for your ministry or your congregation. So again, growing as you go. The next thing is that you should have a budget in mind when it comes to what solutions you're going to have, and stick to that budget. Stick to that budget until what happens in this virtual experience calls for you to do something different. And then also, if you are structured as a 501c3, you should be asking, are there options out there for you right now as discounts if you are a church? Right now, one of the tools that I use, which I don't know where that camera is at this moment, is called a Mevo. It's a little round camera that's no bigger than this, and they are giving them away to nonprofit organizations, and they are actually looking for seed and support so that they can support you. I'm sure they're not the only company doing that. So use wisdom when you're looking for tools and technology to support your virtual services on Sunday. It doesn't mean that you're looking for all kinds of hookups, because the things that I'm going to share with you in just a moment don't require you to get a Mevo right now, especially if you are a no or a low tech church. Right now, we're going to say use what's in our hands, use what's in our house before we invest any money in this. And then also, as you're creating these virtual solutions, you can have plans, but it's really important that you take some time after you have these services that are virtual, whether it's Sunday service, Bible study, rehearsals of some sort, whatever it is, build in time to do a debrief. And what a debrief is we had a plan. Did it go well? Did we miss the mark? Did the technology work? What is our congregation saying about that experience? What types of things would they like to see as a result of us providing virtual solution and support for them? And you want to hear that, and you want to be flexible, and you want to respond. Now, understand you're never going to make everyone happy, but you still want to be intentional and hear from what we call in the business world, the voice of the customer, and make sure that you can adapt and adjust based on the needs of the majority right now. And then the other piece is that as you are building out these virtual solutions, I know even when I'm talking to some of my clients who are going from doing things as a side hustle or a solo practitioner, and they're trying to build out their brand, I would say it's the same thing for you churches. Right now is not the time to connect everything to one person's personal accounts on everything. Let's get set up for business so that even as we go back to our new normal and we're going back into the church, we can depend on others because we're structuring our software and our solutions in a way that align with a brand that's associated with your ministry. And so what that looks like is that if you don't have an email dedicated to your church, you can use a free resource as step one. Go to Gmail and say the name of your church at gmail.com. If you don't have a phone line at your church that you can answer or respond to those voicemails from the church, there you can actually go ahead and get a free Google number. If you get a Google number, it's free. You can forward it to your cell phone, but you have that line of demarcation, and you can leave a voice message on your church line saying, right now, no one's at the church in the church office. If you need to contact someone in the ministry, call this number and give them the Google number, not your personal number. And then also, the last thing is you want to begin to collect information from your congregation, the demographics. You want to know people's cell phone numbers. You want to know their email addresses. You want to know their physical addresses. You want to make sure that you're collecting that. And again, if you have no technology right now, it might look like sister or brother so-and-so literally taking out a piece of paper and writing that information down. And as you grow and evolve, we can then start transferring that information from paper form into an electronic service that makes sense for your congregation where you are right now. Now, I have said a lot of things. I don't know how many people are online with me now, but I'm going to pause for a moment and see if there's any questions at all. Any questions at all about anything that I've talked about or some of the things that maybe you've been on another session that you want to ask right now. You can put those questions over in the comment section, and I'm actually going to change to the regular video for right now to make sure that I'm responding to those questions. So are there any questions at all that are coming in that people have at this time in reference to anything that I've talked about so far? Go ahead and post those over in the question section. Over in the question section. Hey, Carol, nice to see you. I don't even know. Are you in Buffalo still? Maybe you are. Maybe you're in Florida. I don't know. Looks like you're in Florida from your beautiful picture. Okay. No questions. I know there's about a 30-second delay. That's why I'm talking and saying hi to Carol right now. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I know I've said a lot of things about some general tips to consider. At this point right now is when I really am again saying, please start watch parties. Please start to share with people, because what I'm going to do next is now I'm going to take you step by step through some actual software, through some actual solutions and hardware on things you should be considering to prepare for your virtual service this Sunday. Again, if you can tag people by putting their names in the comment, start watch parties on your page. We really want to make sure that at this point you are bringing people in, because now I'm going to go into some actual applications of information you should consider on how you can get started. So let's go ahead and start right now. If you are a church that has no technology at all, meaning that all you do is show up on church on Sunday, not all you do, but you show up on church on Sunday, and the most technology that you use is a wireless microphone, this part is geared towards you. What I would encourage you to do is, if you've set up all that infrastructure with your business things or your business handles, you want to start with a Facebook page. Now, let me just explain. A Facebook page is different from what you normally use for Facebook. Most people have personal accounts on Facebook. A Facebook page is going to be associated with the ministry itself. It's almost like a virtual billboard. And on that page, you have some options in Facebook that you will not have in your own personal page. So there's some options that you're going to have on your Facebook page that you will not have on your personal page, nor will you have in a Facebook group. One of the things that you won't have in private Facebook groups is people can't share posts outside of it. So when you use a Facebook page and you are a nonprofit organization, meaning that you are a 501c3, you can have your Facebook page and there is a button that's there. And on that button on Facebook, what you can do is you can actually have it set up and have a donate button. Now, the donate button, the link that you create inside of that can change. It's not something that stays the same. So right now, if all that you have is some ways to collect money virtually is a Cash App, you can have your Cash App link set up right there on your Facebook page and say donate now. But the key is you have to set up your Facebook page, and the type of organization is you have to classify it as a non-profit organization. If you do not set your Facebook page up that way, it will not give you the option to have the donate now button. I hope there's no questions about that, but if there are, please don't hesitate to ask and put it over in the comment section. The second thing that I want you to think about, if you are a no-tech church and you want to use a Facebook page to stream from and to advertise your services going to this format on Sunday, I'm saying to you, if you have no technology, my best solution for you is to take an older phone, and let me show you what I mean by that. You can take an older phone that you have, or if you have a tablet that's sitting around, you can take these phones and you can take these tablets, you can mount them to tripods. Here is a tripod holder for a phone. They adjust. They're very simple to use. You connect them. There's all different types of formats. You do not have to spend a lot of money on this. You simply click your phone into these devices and you can put them on a tripod. If you don't have the budget for a tripod, you're going to laugh at me right now, but rubber bands are my best friend. How do I use rubber bands? You can take a piece like this. You can take, if you don't have these stands at all, any of these stands at all, and all you have is an old phone, you take that old phone, you take a microphone stand that you have in your church right now. You take a rubber band, make sure it's below the camera itself. You connect it to that stand with enough rubber bands or some tape. You hold it secure, and that actual mic stand adjusts up and down. So you can adjust it to the right height and use this for right now. You might be thinking about, well, what about my audio? Well, your audio at this point, if you are a no-tech church, you take the earbuds that came with your phone that have a mic on them, and you plug them into your phone, and you use this old phone, this old tablet as your way of streaming on Facebook Live. Now, when you're using a phone, if you're saying, I don't have anyone in my congregation that has an old phone that's sitting around, if you choose to use your own phone or your own tablet device, my only tip for you there is that you want to make sure that you're putting it in airplane mode. If you don't put it in airplane mode, then you will get a phone call and it will interrupt your service. Now, here's the other catch. If you're using an old device, you do need to make sure that you can connect to Wi-Fi. Because again, if the phone is in airplane mode, that means you're not connected to your cellular data plan. And if you have an actual device that has a hotspot in it, you can link your old device to your primary phone as the Wi-Fi source, and then you can stream right from this old device. Again, something is better than nothing. We are looking at low budget, no spending extra money to get your message out. And believe it or not, the quality of most phones, most camera phones, is actually better than a lot of these old camcorders that you have sitting in your churches. They have come a mighty long way. A mighty long way. So again, using these, they are great. If you want to be a little bit more sophisticated with your sound quality, because based on research, what I know now is that people are more concerned about what they hear than what they see. There are also some little mics that you can get that do not cost a lot of money. This one I think does cost a bit of money. But you can go to the Guitar Center, and you can go there and you can purchase them, or you can go on Amazon and get other little mics. These little mics with this sound right here, so that you don't have it's a muffle, so you have that popping sound. It's an air thing. It's a great thing. These can connect right into your phone, and there are ways that you can mount them. If you don't have all the special mounts for them and you order this microphone, what I would encourage you to do is do what? You got one phone on a mic stand that you're using. You got the other mic that's connected to your phone. You connect them, and then guess what? You put this one with a rubber band as well. I'm telling you, rubber bands are my best friend. Anybody who see me in a tech crunch where I didn't have my little devices that attach, listen, I'll use a rubber band in a minute. Yes, I will. And then the other thing is, this is a little bit more of an expensive mic, but it's still a great mic if you want good sound quality. It's by Shure. It connects into the iPhone jack. So if you'll notice the bottom of it, it's got the adapter that goes right into the mic right into the phone directly to have a really good sound quality. It works best also on airplane mode. There's software for it. So listen, I'm telling you guys, use this information. I'm telling y'all, use this information with low tech or no tech. These are some of the things you could have. But again, if you have nothing and no budget, stick with the phone, stick with the earbuds from your device that came with it, or go to Walmart and get some that's not too expensive, as long as it has the microphone, and most of them do have the microphone on them. If you want to get a little fancier pants, if you have a Bluetooth that you use for your phone, you can actually use that same Bluetooth that you have in your ear or around your neck. You can use that as your audio connected to your phone as well, and it will give you that phone quality. So if you're one of those people that move when you're preaching or talking, you might want to use the Bluetooth. But again, it's stuff that you already have. That is for the no tech. Let me see if I forgot anything. Also, you can, if you are not prepared to stream live, you're saying, okay, Latasha is saying I should stream live and use what I have, but I'm not ready for that yet. Well, like we talked about before, something is better than nothing. So even if you have to do a conference call line and people can get on the phone, you can go to freeconferencecall.com. They have an HD version, and then they have the free conference call itself.com. When you go on there, it is very simple. They give you a phone number, they give you a passcode, and people can join on the freeconferencecall.com. Now, if you want to be a little bit more sophisticated, you can use freeconferencecallhd.com and go on the website as the person that's starting that call, because sometimes when people are new to technology, they don't know the power of what mute, and you want to preach and you don't want to be interrupted. So if you're using from the internet as the person, or you have someone else using it for the internet, the beauty of that is they can go in and they can mute those lines if the conference call is all you have in the beginning. You also, if you have information about people's emails and their cell phone numbers, you can start using robocalls. And what is a robocall? It is a way where you go into a system, you set up text messages or voicemail messages. It's the same thing that you'll get from your kids' school systems right now. And it will alert people and say, hey guys, we thought we were going to church on Sunday in the building, but it looks like we actually have to do this virtually. Here is the conference call information, or we will be streaming on Facebook Live. And you can use that information, again, in the beginning. There's a service that's called callemall.com. I'm not even getting any affiliate payment on this stuff because I really just want to help y'all. I just really want to help y'all today. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit more. Again, if you are in a smaller church, one of the things that I'm talking about, but you want to use wisdom with this, is that if you don't have an online collection means right now, what another thing is that you might consider, again, is to have 2 trustees from the church. And during a certain time frame, you can let people know, you know what, we're going to be online with our service, but we don't have a way to collect our offering, or some people just don't feel comfortable with that. And we're going to have trustees, 2 of them, just accountability, right? It's important, accountability, that they can have a lockbox with a slot on it. People can put their tithes and offering in an envelope, slip it in the slot box, and you can put that box in your safety deposit box in the bank, or you can do whatever you do with your normal tithes and offering. But it's an alternative that's a safe way if you don't have a way online yet to collect offering. Again, you want to meet your congregation where they are and not overwhelm people. You really just want to make sure that you can deliver the word of God for them. So let's go ahead and look at the low tech options. So now, what is low tech? Low tech to me is now you're getting a little bit more specific than just doing your Facebook Live and streaming ad hoc, meaning that you haven't scheduled it. And right now you want to move away from your pen and paper because you're like, oh my goodness, like they're enjoying our Facebook Lives, but we don't know how to connect with people and offer up prayer and do anything else with them after the session. Excuse me. So the next thing I would suggest is that if you are a low tech church, you're comfortable with the things we just talked about. You're going to do the things we just talked about. And now what we're going to think about is our Facebook page. Instead of just having this Facebook page, you can create an event. You can create an event on your Facebook page for Sunday. Now, if you don't have a way to collect people's information when they're attending and you want to be just a little bit more sophisticated, inside of that event, it allows you to say, where is it? And so instead of saying, where is it? And you just put, online or Facebook, You can use a software or a solution, a cloud-based solution called Eventbrite. And so in Eventbrite, people will use them for virtual or live events. You can create an event, and why would I encourage you to do that? Because that event, you will have a ticket. The ticket is free. But on that ticket, what you can have people do is put their name and their email address in there. Their name and their email address in there. So you'll be able to collect all the people who said they were going to come to service on Sunday, and you have a way to follow up and thank them and to encourage them. Or if you don't have your online giving connected to your Facebook page, you can send them a link to collect your tithes and offering. But you can use Eventbrite inside of that Facebook page with the event. Again, I know I'm saying a lot of stuff. I feel like some people might not stay till the end. So I do want to just put one thing in here real quick. If you'll just please hold with me. And I'm going to say this again at the end, but I'm going to say it now because I feel like I've said a lot of stuff. If you are a person that's hearing all this stuff that Latasha's talking about and you're saying you want some help, I'm going to just put in there a link where you can reach out to me during or after this call to set up an appointment and say, you know what? I'd like to connect with you because some of that stuff you were saying just went woo all over the place, and I don't know what you were talking about. But anyways, there's a link over there where you can schedule time to talk to me or someone from my team about getting ready for Sunday. And so let's go back into our presentation. So our Facebook page, you're going to set up an event. You're going to have Eventbrite there to collect names of addresses and phone numbers. And then now this is where we talk about your online giving. In the beginning, I know that the most popular software that I keep hearing about in the church is Tithely or Giveify. Maybe your congregation's just not there yet. But some apps that they are familiar with that you can use, because I went in and I checked, that you can use for churches or nonprofit organizations is in the beginning, you can use Cash App. You can use Zelle. You can use PayPal Me. Now, the difference between PayPal Me and PayPal in its general form is PayPal Me, you can have a custom link that is associated with your ministry. And you need to hook up your PayPal Me to your church account. That's what I would suggest. But I'm not here trying to tell anybody how to structure their business. You do your business, how you do your business. But that's what I would encourage is that everything, again, you're setting it up like a business. Here is the thing of why I keep stressing this PayPal Me. Once you have assigned a PayPal Me custom link to your PayPal account, you cannot change it. You cannot change it. So if the name of your church is First Baptist Church of Lackawanna, you want to make sure that you have that First Baptist Church of Lackawanna, and if it is available, you want to keep that and you want to use that same name, that naming or branding everywhere else on social media, so people are consistent of, okay, this is First Baptist Church of Lackawanna, and that's your PayPal custom link. The nice thing about the PayPal Me is you can text that to people. They can put in an amount that they want to, and they will automatically pay you. It is a great, great feature. Great, great feature. PayPal Me and Cash App and Zelle. Again, you don't want to rush ahead and request this money from these different systems, because when you process it quickly, there are higher fees versus letting it deposit at its normal time frame. So again, these are some quick online giving, and all three of the ones that I've described, you can have that link connected right on your Facebook page at the donate button with the link to one of those applications. Again, at this point, if you do or you don't have a website, I don't want you updating it. I do not want you updating your website. We are going to use social media. We are going to do low cost, low touch things at this point. So your website is there, and that's great. But if you don't have someone in-house that can update your website, and even if you do, take their technical skills right now and have them help you do things that are aligned with what you're trying to do for this Sunday versus updating the website. And then also, you want to make sure that at this point, you have a group of people that are helping you with their technology. Again, one might be responsible for Facebook. One might be responsible for online giving. One might be responsible for monitoring what's happening on Sunday and giving you information in real time, or just responding to people so that they don't feel alone. I'm comfortable talking on video, talking to myself or talking to the masses. It doesn't make any difference to me. My energy is the same. I'm excited about that. But for some people, when they're new to technology, they need that feedback, especially if you're used to preaching on Sunday and you have a group of people saying, amen, yes, pastor, or whatever they're saying, and you don't get that. this virtual solution, you need something to help you in that rhythm. So I would encourage you to do that as well. Another thing, if you are a low tech church and if the idea of going live just scares you to death, I do want to offer another thing. At this point, when you're low tech, I would encourage you, again, you can take the same phone, you can record a video on it, and you can upload it to YouTube or Vimeo. You upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, and then what you can do on Sunday morning, if you schedule your post for the time that you're supposed to go live, you can then upload that video right into Facebook on that page, and it can stream for you. So don't use the excuse, I don't want to go live, I'm scared to go live. Then you don't have to go live. You can pre-record. And what I am offering to people up until noon tomorrow is I have a couple of people that are willing to say, if you don't want to go live, they will come to you at your church. They will record the video and upload it for you on YouTube so that you are ready for Sunday if going live scares the bejesus out of you. I don't want anyone to be scared. You just want to say, you know what, I'm going to do the best job that I can. So again, that is an option that we love to offer to you. Again, using that link that I have here posted in the comments is how you get in touch with me or someone from my team that's here to help you. And the support people that I'm using are not just located in Buffalo. So if you are in another city, they might be able to even help you there as well in real time or in real life. So let's just go ahead and keep going now to the medium tech. Woo, woo. I feel excited. I love technology if you can't tell. Let's go to the medium tech. Now, the medium tech, you now have all the stuff that we've talked about before in the low tech, in the low tech, right? And so now you're at the point where you're getting just a little bit more sophisticated. It's at this point that you want to create a plan that includes things like, what software are we using? What username and passwords do we have? Who's assigned to what? Who's going to be where? When are they going to log in? You want to have a more robust plan because you're using more things. And what are some of the more things? Well, at this point, and at this point only, am I saying this is when I would say to you, I'm going to transition you from using your mobile device, and let me stop screening. And you guys can screen share or snap screenshots all you want to too. This stuff is available to you. It's at this point when you're medium tech that we're moving from our phones over to other devices. Where is that? So one of the things that I would suggest is at this point when you're going to medium tech, you would want to use a laptop. I use Apple. You don't have to use Apple. I'm a fan of Apple, and let me tell you a couple of reasons why. I'm a fan of Apple because usually the software, the updates, and all of that, it's a better investment. You can use it for a longer period of time. But here's the other thing of the reason why I like Apple. I like Apple because their software, I don't care if the machine is from 15 years ago. How you use it is pretty stable and pretty much the same. And even the app that I'm using with you right now called Ecamm, it's only available for Macs. And so again, it might be more of an expensive investment, but it's not. But let me just pump the brakes on you here too. If you decided to go with Apple, hear me, I'm pausing. If you decide to go with Apple, hear me again, I'm pausing. I would encourage you that if you do not have a big budget, you can buy a refurbished machine. If you're in the city of Buffalo, there's these retailers, there's these Apple or Mac stores that are around where you can buy a refurbished machine. You want to go to a reputable person to get it, but you can get a used machine. Now, why am I encouraging used Apple over a PC? They're not paying me anything. If you get a refurbished Apple that is 3 or 4 years old, it still can handle the software that you need for right now to do what you need to do. This little Mac Air that I'm using, let me show you. I bought this laptop when my daughter 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And if you didn't know that, if you didn't look at it, you wouldn't know that this is a 10-year-old machine. I used it yesterday to run an application. It was just fine. And in some situations, an older machine works out better for you because why? The older Apples have things that you need like USB ports. The new ones don't. They have USB-Cs. And that gets a little bit more expensive. So you can get a refurbished machine. You don't have to buy a new one. If you're concerned about spending the money on it, you can again reach out to me and we can talk about it, or you can post it over in the comment section because that's important. The other thing is you're now moving away from your mobile device over to a webcam. My preference is Logitech. You don't have to spend a ton of money on Logitech, but Logitech is a pretty good camera. Now, if you have a low budget and you're saying, okay, I have to decide what I want, you might want to spend a little bit more on a Logitech camera because some of them actually have a mic built in them that is a stereo mic. And so you plug this in, you use this camera, connect it to your laptop, because now you're no longer just using basic Facebook Live, although you can. Today I'm using Facebook Live. No, I'm using Facebook Live through Ecamm. So it's streaming into Facebook Live on multiple pages. And then I share it to another page. And so again, I know it sounds crazy, but at this point, I'm transitioning you away from just using the native Facebook app to something else that can be used with it. And so what that might look like is there's software called Zoom. Zoom has a free version where you can go up to 45 minutes. The problem with Zoom is that the free version, you cannot stream it into your Facebook Live. But there's nothing to say that and you can't even access the recordings. So if you're using the free version of Zoom, it literally is just saying, I'm going to give everybody this call-in information and this link so they can log on from their computers, and I want to use Zoom. Now, why would I encourage you to use Zoom? Zoom is great because, again, if you have songs that y'all want to sing together, if you have PowerPoints that you use to teach, you can use those in Zoom. But this is the thing. What I'm also learning about Facebook, because I've been online with clients for the last few days, learning all these tips, is on Facebook now, you can even share your screen. You can even share your screen and have a video split screen right on Facebook. Yes, you heard it. So if you want to use, again, a laptop and be more sophisticated, you can go ahead. You can use Facebook, but you're going to be using these other tools because you're going to be using Facebook differently, and you're using it differently than you can with your mobile device. Another thing is that now is the time, if you shift over to a laptop, you may want to spend some money on some lighting systems. But lighting, mics, camera, again, if you are medium tech, now in my office, I have my home office has a totally different setup than my office downtown. And why does it have two different setups? Because I have more space to record. But I've been just like in my home office so much that I've had to make some accommodations for using lighting. So lighting is important. Right now I'm sitting in my basement office, but it looks like a Sunday morning. And so what are the things that you can use for lighting that's not too expensive? Let me give you some clues. If your computer can be set up in front of a window, natural light is always the best. But if you're like me and you're in a basement and my window is way up there, well, then I can't have the window behind me. So what did I do? Well, I did some cheap stuff. I'm trying to tell y'all what I did. I have 5 lights going on. Oh, six lights going on. Lots of light. But you got to have your light in a certain way. And normally I also, for ladies and gentlemen, if you're really caring about aesthetics, I would say to you, I never even wore makeup until I started doing more videos, because you don't want your face to be so shiny as you're transitioning to these nicer tools. And so some of the equipment that I would suggest for you when you're in that medium tech, if you're going to be using Zoom or you're going to be using Facebook and you're going to be using these other webcams, you can purchase some other equipment. Now, let me show you what some of this equipment looks like. For example, I got these lights. They're little LED lights, and I position them on the sides of my screen so that it balances off, and you see I'm not as shiny when that light is on. Maybe you don't notice it, but I'm not as shiny when that light is on. I also, let me tell you, I wouldn't tell you nothing that I'm not doing. I bootstrap it. Let me show y'all these crazy bootleg lights. You see these two lights right here? They came from Home Depot. You know what they're mounted on? A mic stand. I took a mic stand, I attached them to it, and they're right above the actual camera itself. Oh, let me get my camera back on. They're right above the camera because it gives me that nice down light. And then on the sides, I have these two lights that are going so that it balances off my light. You don't have to be this sophisticated, but what I'm saying to you is, instead of spending money on expensive light kits, all my lights maybe cost me $50. Maybe. I don't even think they were that much. Those little lights were $9, and I think that light was a floodlight with a little thing from Home Depot. You get the right bulb, you put it in there, and you connect it to a mic stand. Very simple. Very simple, at least simple for me. So again, these are some things. If you are that medium tech, you're moving away from using those other devices. Oh, I forgot to show one other thing. And I'm also using a lapel mic. So what you notice is I'm using a lapel mic, but let me just tell you, the mic sound from my actual webcam, I'm going to now it's going to take a 30-second delay, but now I'm using the mic from the webcam. And my sound quality is just a little bit different. But again, I'm recording these, so I want to make sure that you are as close to my mouth as possible. But the mic from my webcam is not bad. It's not bad. Let's go back over to the lapel mic. Microphone check. Make sure you can still hear me, please. Microphone check and make sure you can hear me. So give me some hearts to let me know that you can hear. But again, that is the medium tech that's going on. So let's go ahead and talk about some other things. Well, at this point, you are also going to be upgrading your online giving. At this point, when you're medium tech is when I'm suggesting you're doing things like Tithely and Giveify. So why would Latasha say, well, why would she have me transition over to these things when before she said use Cash App and Zelles? Well, let me tell you something that I've learned as a business owner. I like to have what? Options. I have all kinds of processors. I have Stripe, I have Cash App, I have Zelles, I have Apple Pay, I have PayPal Me Now, and I got a multitude of others. So the reason you want to go with this Tithely and Giveify at this point, if you're medium tech, is because you want to nurture your congregation and you want to start to consolidate and integrate and automate things. If those three words scare you, just hear me when I tell you it's not that difficult. We start with a whiteboard. We meet you where you are when you're transitioning to medium tech. Now, why am I suggesting again that you're going to Tithely or Giveify? Not so sure about Giveify, but I know in Tithely, inside of its solution for online giving, it also has a CRM, a customer relationship manager, meaning that it is collecting information. And usually if it's a CRM, it'll allow you to tag people. So you might say visitor, you might say existing member, you might say leadership role. You tag people. And then if you need to send out communications through those systems, you can do it with ease. It takes time to set it up, but once it's set up, you can use it. But no worries. If you don't want to move away from a Tithely or Giveify, there's other software you can use too to start to make sure that you're connecting with your congregation more than just Sunday. Simple things like MailChimp. That is free. Free. MailChimp. I'm not a fan, but I'm learning how to use it very well because I've been on MailChimp for about 10 hours since Monday, learning how to set it up. It's not as easy to set up, but it's great to use once you do set it up because you can then post on your Facebook page, hey, if you're new to the church, put your email address and your name in, and someone from the church will call and welcome or pray for you. Wouldn't that be great if you could put that on your Facebook page and automatically have someone be able to respond to them? Those are some of the tools that you want to start using when you move to medium tech. But again, we don't want to jump from no tech to medium tech, no matter how fancy pants it sounds. Why? Because you don't want to get overwhelmed. I'm telling you right now, I love technology. I love it. But I love technology, but I have taken the last 15 years to be proficient in it. I'm not expecting people who are just now starting out to have the level of confidence that I have with this. And there might be people in your congregation that are really good with technology. So let's give them a chance. Get them excited. Get them involved. Now let's go ahead and transition. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. But if you're a church that already has everything that I've talked about so far, or you're using some other stuff that I'm not using or I haven't talked about, put it over in the comment section. Maybe it's something that I just said, oops, I forgot to say because this is their fourth time doing it. So have some mercy on it. Was my heart, no, my head, not my heart. My head, not my heart. Yeah, my head, not my heart. So let's go ahead and talk about high tech. By the time you get to the level of high tech, or if you are a high tech congregation, I just want to say pause. Why am I saying pause? Because this is not the seminar for you. When I'm working with my larger clients, or even if I'm thinking about my own church that I attend, they're in this high tech category. At this point, they have mastered and gone well beyond all the things that we talked about in the no tech, low tech, or medium tech. It's at this point that they have resources on staff or have partnerships, or with my business clients, they're using vendors to help them with more sophisticated technology solutions. So for example, You'll go on their website, and their website has an interface where it can stream live, and on the bottom you have notes, and on the right it has a button for prayer requests, and the next thing it has a button for your tithes and offering, and it has all that. That's not what this session is about, and I beg you not at this time to go invest thousands and thousands of dollars, because that's what it will cost to do it well, on these solutions if you are in one of the categories I just talked about. Remember what we said in the beginning. This is not a comparison thing. This is a God thing. This is getting the word of God out to people. It's not a time to invest in all these things that you may never use. As a small business owner, I have a tech budget. I have a tech budget of a certain amount. And when my business isn't doing well, then the tech budget gets tapped into when we use other things. And so if you're in a church right now and you're saying, I would love to have all these things, Latasha, I would say to you that sometimes even your good intentions of investing all this money might hurt your congregation because they're not ready to go watch you on YouTube Live that has a live stream interface to your website so they can take notes, because they're not even using iPads in church on Sunday. So this is probably not the right solution. I don't want to sit here and scream like I'm a yelling parent, but I'm saying use wisdom. The things that we've talked to up until this point, if you are a no tech, low tech, or even a medium tech church, your congregation will just be happy that you're providing something for them to stay connected. And so for those things, I'm equipped. We've extended our office hours. I can't even believe that I'm open till 9 o'clock on a Friday, because that's just not how I do business. But I know God's business trumps my comfort right now. And so I really want to help those of you who have sat here on this call today and said, oh my gosh, Latasha, you have said a lot. So at this time, for the next 10 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over and make sure I didn't leave out anything that's over in the chat area. And if there's any other questions that you might have right now, please go ahead and continue to put them in the chat area. So let me just double check. Someone's asking a question about YouTube. Yes, with YouTube. If you are uploading to YouTube, like I was talking about earlier, you don't just want to just upload to YouTube randomly. If you have no tech or low tech or even medium tech and you're using Google, one of the great things is that if you use that email address where it's the name of your church at gmail.com, once you set up that Gmail account or that Google account, there's a whole host of things that you have for free. Okay, let me say it again. For free. So one of the things that you have the ability to do is to set up a YouTube channel. You can set up a YouTube channel, and every time you upload to YouTube for your church services, you can upload it to a YouTube channel. Now, let me tell you the beauty of YouTube. You can have your YouTube channel so organized. You can have one section that's just about Sunday services, one section for Bible study, one section for youth, one section for praise and worship music. You can organize your stuff like that on YouTube. I'm saying it like I'm in front of y'all. Let me hear y'all all say, for free. There's even some free music on YouTube, so you can start making stuff fancy with intros and outros. I know y'all got some amazing musicians. They can record intros and outros, and you can have that all on your YouTube channel. For what? Free. And I love free. I love free or nearly free. That is the best thing ever. But again, YouTube might be down the road. You don't have to do YouTube. And honestly, if you don't structure your YouTube channel right in the beginning, you can always go back and fix it, as long as the YouTube email address that you're uploading to is using that same Gmail email address that's associated with your church. Now, why do you want to have stuff on YouTube? Because the more you start to organize yourself with technology solutions, then when people Google stuff, yes, girl, free. When people Google stuff, then your name, your church, the more video content you have on YouTube, because they're owned by Google, it's all one big thing, it will make sure that you go up higher if you have lots of videos. So for me, my handle is Latasha115959. It means something to me, and if you ever hear me speak, you learn more about what does 115959 mean. But if you went onto YouTube, if you went onto Google and you said Latasha 115959, you'll see my picture, you'll see my YouTube, you'll see lots of videos, but you'll see me everywhere. My LinkedIn is that. No. My LinkedIn is my name. My Instagram is that. My Snapchat is that. So if you Google Latasha 115959, you're more apt to find me. Why do I have Latasha 115959 and not just Latasha Martin? Because Latasha Martin, even though I think is a special name for me, it's not a special name. And so the other Latasha Martins, when I Google them, I don't want to be like connected with them by accident. So therefore, what I am saying is you want to make sure that you're selecting things that you have that consistent brand. So I have been talking a lot. I have about 5 more minutes where I will answer questions or things that come up. I'm going to go ahead again and put the scheduler on there. And I do want to share one other thing because I don't see anyone asking questions. If you use the link to schedule time with me, and I'm going to say this slow because I talk really fast. If you use that link to schedule time with me or someone from my team, there is a $25 consultation fee. However, if you make your appointment and I can help you and we are not a good fit, or I can answer your question really quickly, I will refund that $25 back. If you don't show up for your appointment, it is a non-refundable $25. Ain't no reschedule, ain't none of that. It's just, you lost it. Why? Because I want to make sure that I'm available for serious people who really want to do things. Well, let me put my disclaimer. There's always some things that you can't help, but especially in this climate. But in general, what I've learned is that if there is not that consultation fee, people will schedule time and they will take an opportunity away from someone else. And so to be fair, there's a $25 deposit that you pay to schedule time with me. But if I'm able to help you quickly, I will refund that money back to you. Hear that? Refund it back. So again, you're so funny, Shannon. I know, I was working with them. Ephesus is ready for Sunday, y'all. They've been doing virtual Bible studies. They've been doing some great stuff. And I do have testimonials and references if you wanted to check me or my company or people that work with me. My heart is that I just want you to be prepared. I remember there was a time where I didn't know this much about technology, and I wound up spending way too much on too little of what I thought I needed. And I don't want you to do that to yourselves. Right now, your primary role is to deliver the word on Sunday. And so I just want to be here as a resource. I know that the word talks about we all have our gifts. Our gifts are not for us. Our gifts are to glorify God and to invest in kingdom things in the body of Christ. And so I believe that anyone that's here that is a believer, you are my brother and sister in Christ. And I really want to be here to serve you and to help you deliver the right thing for your church on Sunday. So I love you so much. If there are no other questions, I'm going to just hang on for the last 2 minutes just to honor my commitment of being here for 1 solid hour. If there's any other questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. You can also inbox me on Messenger if you're like, I'm not ready for the appointment, but I just got one quick question. If it's too lengthy, I will reroute you to say, in order for us to be fair to both of us, go ahead and schedule that appointment. But if you have a quick question or you don't even know how to do an inbox, you can put it over in the comments, or if you go to our website, VonSwiseSolutions.com, our phone number is there. 716-508-0664 is the phone number. I don't call myself that much, so that's why it's hard for me to remember. But you can go ahead and leave a voice message there. Again, we have extended hours. We can help you. We know service is Sunday. We will help you with really aggressive interaction stuff up until noon tomorrow. But after that point, it's not that I don't want to help, and we can schedule stuff. But after noon tomorrow, after 12 o'clock tomorrow, which is Saturday, then I'll be saying, how do we support you for the next Sunday or the next week? I don't want to set up unrealistic expectations, but do not hesitate to reach out, because I believe this is how God wants me to use my gifts to be a blessing to you. Thank you so much. And this is recorded, so you can continue to share this video. We have another session scheduled for 8 o'clock tonight, but I will be telling you it will probably be a rerun of this session right here. So again, love you guys so much. I'm praying for each of you. Stay safe, be wise, use wisdom. Don't be running around there going to places. Listen, I need to get into my dentist because my tooth just cracked. I'm like, what? But anyways, so if you know of a dentist that's open today, I would appreciate a referral. But anyways, I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Love you all, and God bless.